Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ruckus and The Menace podcast, a sports podcast and sports video game podcast. I am obviously Ruckus, and this is...
Ruckus the Menace.
And what have you been up to, Spennis?
All right. Well, the new radio has finally been installed in my car, and it's got some power. And I can crank the bass to however I need to. This thing, like, my car is now rocking hard.
Quick question, is it a chick magnet?
I'm already spoken for, my guy. So there is only one that I have to be concerned with, and at the rate I'm going, we are looking at that being future wifey. So so there is nothing to worry about there.
Yeah, no, sorry to stress future wifey. I'm sure she listens to our podcast.
Yes. Yeah, Sarah's great. Yeah, Sarah's great. She hasn't been in the car with the new radio yet, and I'm definitely not going to try and push too much of the music as far as that on that. But
there you go.
At least she knows that it's in the car. I've watched I watched the new Doctor Strange. If you have not yet, I will not spoil anything. We are spoiler free on anything like that is too much of recency bias, or not really recency bias, but maybe too recency for the proper comfort to spoil. So I will keep all Doctor Strange spoilers out of this podcast. And I will also keep all Moon Knight spoilers out because I have watched the conclusion of that. And then I've been learning more about some of the other sports in Nintendo Switch Sports. I mean, bowling has always been the jam, but I actually had been enjoying soccer, the soccer mode on it.
I didn't know they had soccer, but I do know the infamous bowling from the bowling memes and doing it myself and just sitting on the couch and then just flicking the button really quick and then calling it a day.
And the online's like a battle royale as well, so you kind of have to be a little bit of a cheesy sweat to do that. But really, Nintendo Switch Sports, the best thing about it is the judgment-free zone known as local play.
There you go.
But then last night, tonight, prior to recording, I was out helping out with a Christian organization's dodgeball tournament and did some refereeing, and then actually got to jump in on a little bit of the fun and got to sling some balls, throw a couple spinners in there, and actually didn't get any of my my like a two seam spin. I didn't get any hits on that, but I was able to get a slide piece to hit somebody.
Quick question, what kind of balls were they? Like rubber or was it like those padded ones?
They were definitely the padded ones, but you were still
like the foam ones? Like padded
the foam ones. Yeah, like the foam, yeah. But I was able to kind of be able to chuck it in a way that I could get. You kind of have to sidearm it a little bit to get some of the spin. Because if you truly threw it overhand, you may or may not get some of the spin and motion on it. But I was just looking for stuff that had unpredictable motion to try and see if I could get somebody who may have been moving into the zone without seeing anything, but I knew that I got one slide. But I had been trying to throw. There was one where it's I threw the slider and I got somebody, but I wasn't able to get any bit of the slider again, with any other throws that I had.
Yeah. The one thing I grew up on with dodgeball was mainly just those foam balls, so that's why I was curious if it was like rubber or anything like that, because Back
Oh,
in the day,
oh, I,
in like the movies and stuff, they always use rubber. And then whenever I come to it in elementary school, they're like, "Here's these foam puny balls, but here you
oh,
go."
I have played with the rubber balls before too, and those are easier. They're easier to catch too because you're not seeing the ball velocity wise as hard
Right.
because they're heavier. But I think the foam balls are more used just simply for safety.
I get way too competitive with dodgeball in general.
Oh yeah. Trust me, I think that's like the one elementary school game other than kickball.
Oh, kickball was fun too, because then you would get the kids, all the good kids on one team, and then all the semi-good kids on the other team, and then the fun part was
Oh
just
my!
running all the way back to the rest of the schoolyard trying to catch the ball.
Oh, prior to me having COVID during last summer, I was actually with some coworkers and we actually had a nice big kickball game in the back of a at the back playground of an elementary at an intermediate school at the intermediate school across the street from work.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, like we played 7 innings out there and I think it was like the 5th or 6th inning I eventually got like my foot into one. And pretty much, if we were talking like other than the one people that were pulling the ball a little bit, I was the only person that was able to kick one practically in terms of theory, the furthest distance dead center.
Nice.
Oh yeah, and eventually it's like, okay, I kicked that ball far enough, and actually the guy who was playing center fielder had muffed it initially, like muffed the kick too, but I think had he let it go, it probably would have been like it would have touched the asphalt for a homer, for an automatic homer anyway. But
Yeah.
I still ended up rounding all four.
Yeah, because we used to
And
have kickball also in the gym, and if you hit like this like certain line on like the top of the wall, that was like an automatic homer.
oh man, oh I remember in 7th grade, I just moved here to Martinsburg, West Virginia, and I know I gave out the location. You could kind of like cut that out, but still, it's like I I went and I swung through, and this was actually with a wiffle ball. I ended up catching all of it. I'm like, I look at this, I'm like, home run, home run, home run, home run, and I hit the ball high enough that it didn't touch the rafters and hit the wall straight out. And of course, the gym teacher was there. It's like signaled homer. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go.
Oh, you were lucky if you got like a kid that played soccer on your team too. Because if they were like a goalie or just in general like a kicker, like they could like kick that thing pretty damn far and elevate it. Like there is no catching that damn ball because it'll curve or it'll just go up high in the air and it's just going fast too. There's no stopping that.
Oh my cousin, I have a cousin who did some semi-pro football as a kicker. Did I really learn anything kicking wise from him? No, but the fact that I know I can boot it just very much similar to him was enough as it was, and that I actually can that knowing I actually have whenever I can get like a solid kick into a ball, I can send it. But it's like, okay, I know how to swing a bat. I know how to I know how to kick a ball. So it's like we play like playing solid in playground sports. That's kind of I know this is definitely a very interesting opening of playground sports for a pod on a sports pod, no less. But can't go wrong with it.
It is what it is. As far as what I've been doing, pretty much playing LB the Show nonstop, no lifing it. But also took a little bit of a break from it this week because I was starting to get burnt out. But there's this VR game on Steam called After the Fall. And if you have not seen any footage for it or heard about it, it is a zombie game kind of similar to Left 4 Dead, but to me, it's got a it's pretty much you're in a frozen like tundra area, and there's just a bunch of zombies coming after you on the screen, and you have to like aim and shoot and do certain mechanics, and it has about the same um, fighting mechanics and shooting mechanics as like any other VR shooter like Half-Life. And if you haven't played Half-Life, it's you could eject with your right hand and then get use your left hand to put a new magazine or whatever back into the gun. But yeah, um, that game was fun to try again. And then I've also been playing a lot of Battlefield as far as just getting challenges done for the weekly stuff because I have a feeling once if things turn around for the game, which they kind of have for 2042, I have a feeling they're gonna have like a bonus surprise for people that actually like did all the challenges, which probably not gonna happen, but you never know. Um,
It
but
is
yeah,
EA though.
yeah, it is EA. They'll have you pay $5 just to play the game probably at some point. Anyways,
Oh,
I've also been watching Bar Rescue, a show on Paramount Network.
oh yeah.
Uh,
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I think I've gotten through the first couple of seasons of that. Oh,
Dude, season 8 is pretty damn good. There was one with I just watched last night where this guy in Arizona took his dad's. It was like something about his. He got borrowed from his dad, and at the end of the episode it was pretty slick. But like it was like a True Grit themed bar, and I thought that was pretty cool.
has the recon with Adam Cole Bebe already happened?
I couldn't tell you.
Um,
I've only
apparently I
seen
had seen
season 8, so because season
no,
8 is the
no.
only
This
one
would have
that.
been no. This would have been season 8, but apparently I had seen something that Adam Cole and his girlfriend Dr. Britt Baker DMD were going to be on an episode.
Oh, okay. I probably
They
haven't gone that far, but like I only have season 8 as far as the Paramount Network on the recording for the DVR, which sucks with YouTube TV, but other than that, I'm just watching through season 8. I'll probably get through like the beginning parts of it, but it's addicting cuz it's like 30-minute episodes and I can just have it in the background, but I also like to see like the transformations they do before and after. It kind of reminds me of the Extreme Makeover Home Edition or what
oh yeah.
other
Yeah, yeah,
shows like
yeah, I know what you're
that.
talking about with that.
But like,
Oh,
it's interesting, and I also just like to hear John Tapper just yell at people that are doing a bad job at management or whatnot.
but I've actually been watching another show as well. But I'm going to keep the language on it family friendly because we're family friendly people because this is a sport podcast, not and we are not wanting to have the explicit labels. But the concept of the show is that it's on Netflix, but it's trivia based. But the thing is that if you answer the question and you answer it wrong, which basically, in short, BS, you have to try and pitch it. You have to kind of pitch whatever answer you have to make it believable to a three-person to only one person out of a three-person panel. If all three of them catch you, you're done.
That seems
So
interesting. I haven't seen that advertised on Netflix, but I also just don't really. I have the app and everything. I use it for like comedy specials and stuff, but like I don't pay attention to the interactive stuff on Netflix.
I'm gonna
So.
be honest with you. That one just happened. No, just happened to be like a random. I just happened to randomly stumble upon it, and it's hosted by Howie Mandel.
Oh, Mr. Deal or No Deal, Mr. I
Yeah,
Need Sanitizer. Where's my sanitizer?
yeah. Howie Mandel. Yeah, Howie Mandel's the host of it, and does a pretty good job. Does a
Yeah,
pretty
he
good job
did.
with
He
it.
did do America's Got Talent or something like that too, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. He was a part of that as well. But also, granted, Howie Mandel's got more talent than a certain other person who was involved with that in Howard Stern. Not that Howard Stern doesn't have talent, but Howie Mandel has, I feel, has more talent.
Yeah. It is what
But
it
now,
is.
but before we kind of run this thing a little further off the rails than where we've already gone, shall we get right to what we do best?
Hell yeah.
No. We got to do this right. I'm going to give this in a very much a stone cold fashion. If you want us to get right back to what we do best, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, where we are at here is that we have the weekly lineup. And to kick off our weekly lineup, we have the NBA playoffs. I mean, playoffs? Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Talking playoffs? Playoffs?
Yeah, I know. We're getting into the Jim Mora thing.
Oh, I thought that was an Allen Iverson thing, but it is what it is.
No. Allen Iverson's was about practice.
Oh yeah. Playoffs was the
Allen
one where he does
Iverson's
the.
about practice. We're talking playoffs. That was Jim Mora for the NFL.
Yeah, that's right. We talking practice? Or we?
Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for. We talking about practice, man. Not the game, the actual game. Oh. Yeah.
All right, NBA
I'm going to
playoffs.
fix a small little technical difficulty there, Ruckus.
All right, no worries.
Because I was gonna, but Ruckus, go ahead and update everybody on the NBA playoffs, and I'll take care of the NHL here once I get myself all reset.
All right, sounds good. The NBA playoffs. Phoenix and Dallas. Phoenix leads the series 3-2, and I haven't seen a whole lot as far as what Dallas has done more than what Phoenix has done. But I watch highlights on the NBA, but I've seen Luka Doncic. He had a good night the other night with 40 points. But yeah, still stands. Phoenix leads 3-2, and they play tomorrow, tomorrow night, which at the recording will be Thursday night. And then currently the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies are playing. They just went into the halftime at 77-50 Memphis. So it sounds like Memphis might be trying to come back to at least force a game 6. Even though it's 3-1 right now. We'll see if John Morant comes back. Other than that, looks like they're holding the fort without him currently. Miami and Philadelphia is been kind of an interesting one, as the two sides have been trying to just work themselves out. But yeah, Miami seems to be the stronger team as a whole compared to Philly, even though Philly has James Harden
James Harden.
and Joel Embiid. But you gotta trust the process, I guess. Milwaukee and Boston has, in my opinion, been probably one of the most contested as far as playoff teams to go, because Boston's really just hungry to go in. Milwaukee is a defending champ. I feel like Boston could maybe tie it. We will have to see. But yeah, that's how it stands now. Phil, Phoenix is leading the series 3-2. Golden State's leading 3-1 on their series versus Memphis. Miami and Philadelphia are at 3-2, with Miami leading the series currently. Milwaukee and Boston are leading, or Milwaukee is leading 3-2 over Boston.
Yeah. And while we have hit the NBA, hitting the semifinals, we are now in the first round of the NHL playoffs. At this point right now, the only team that has punched their ticket to the semifinals is the Colorado Avalanche, as they swept the Nashville Predators in 4 games. Every other series has been back and forth the whole way. The Capitals just fell to the Florida Panthers, which the Florida Panthers now lead the series 3-2. The New York Rangers just surged back to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-3 today, of which now Pittsburgh, who could have closed out the series today in New York, it now goes back to Pittsburgh with the Penguins having a 3-2 lead. And the Dallas Stars and Calgary Flames are tied at 2, and they are currently in the early stages of the second period at no score as of release time. In the series ahead, or in the days ahead, the Carolina Hurricanes are up 3-2 on the Boston Bruins, with Game 6 being set for tomorrow in Boston. The Tampa Bay Lightning currently are facing elimination as the Toronto Maple Leafs lead the series 3-2. The Minnesota Wild face elimination as the St. Louis Blues lead the series 3-2. And the Los Angeles Kings also tomorrow will have a 3-2 series lead over the Edmonton Oilers. Game 6 for the remaining series that were played tonight are going to be on Friday, and if necessary, Saturday and Sunday will be played for game 7s. I think we're going to see some game 7s, and they're not going to be starting anything for the next round of semifinal action until sometime next week. So the Colorado Avalanche are going to be setting at a point of, is this going to be rest or rust? Are they going to be rested, or are they going to come out rusty? So I think we're right now in the very early stages of some really good postseason action that will at least carry us into mid to late June.
Well, there you have it.
Well, Ruckus, we have some baseball news.
That is correct. MLB is planning to play regular season games in London in 2023, 24, and 26, bringing back a series previously done by the Yankees and Red Sox before all the before it hit the fan with the pre-pandemic. Honestly, I think this is a good move for the Major League Baseball and just the game as a whole, because not only, I mean, yes, we have Canada and us, but we played in other places before around the world, like Puerto Rico, for example, a couple of years back, I think in 2019, around the same time that we had the London series, right? And then
something like that.
yeah, so like the dedication that we have to London is a good thing because they're a ally with us as well in the real world besides just sports. I think it's a good idea. I think it brings a friendly atmosphere to the game. It shows what baseball truly is about. Because I feel like in around other countries at that point they're more focused on cricket or other sports like football and like football, like as in European football, not American football, or like rugby, which is a probably more physical, wouldn't you say, than American
Oh,
football?
oh yeah, rugby, yeah, definitely.
Um, what are your thoughts on this, by the way, Spenis?
I I like it. I don't, it's definitely something that is a very expansive series, as baseball really is an international game. It's a very international sport that you have a lot of players from a lot of different countries. It may give like an opening for some of these European players to see what professional baseball in America looks like other than what's on their TV.
Also, an honorable mention on that. The one thing I'm excited for that's just in the United States is the Field of Dreams game again. I hope they do it better than they did the first time. Because I looked at behind the scenes footage with Zach Hampel. Shout out to Zach Hampel that doesn't watch this podcast just yet. Um, I saw what they did with it, and I feel like they could improve on it a lot by adding outfield seating in the near like the corn maze, and they could add more people. It felt like I mean, yes, it feels like a minor league game because the main seating is in the front or like behind the plate and near third base and first base, but it didn't to me it didn't feel like a major league stadium, which is the whole point of it, but it'd be cool if they like added like outfield seats in there or at least something cool like that. Like standing room.
Yeah, that definitely would be a nice little additional touch. I mean, more people being able to attend that game is never a bad thing. But it's also set in just a random cornfield.
Right.
So not just anybody is going to be able to get to it.
They could probably also change a few things in the plans though too, as far as like how like seating goes, and if they had to like mow down a little bit of corn because like I loved the idea originally of what they did. I just feel kind of weird not seeing fans in the outfield seats like you would at other stadiums.
Oh, true. Because it's like, oh, where's the home run ball?
But it
Oh, it's
is
just in the middle
cool.
of the corn.
It is cool whenever you get to see like when you get to hear the crack of the bat hitting a ball more like intensely than you would like at a big MLB stadium where like the sound just bounces all around you versus at a what seems to be like a practice field that you'd have for a little league thing where there's like wood all around and stuff. That has a more intense like sound impact than probably just going to a baseball stadium, like a nice one.
Yeah.
Like it just sounds more intense because there's just less sound to bounce off of.
Yep. And Ruckus, I'm going to say this now. We've got more football news, and I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
NFL or the NFL has released the international schedule dates for London, Munich, Germany, and Mexico City. 3 games will be played in London, not involving the Chiefs, in October. The Vikings and Saints on October 2nd. The Giants and Packers for October 9th, and then the Broncos and Jaguars on October 30th. And then as far as the one game in Munich, Germany, also no Chiefs, will feature the Seahawks and Bucks on November 13th. And then in Mexico City, there is going to be a game between the 49ers and Cardinals on November 21st on Monday Night Football. As a Chiefs fan, I was kind of hoping that we would probably play at least somewhat overseas. And yes, I understand the tolls and stuff that come with like the jet lag and stuff like that, and like possible injuries and whatnot. But honestly, I feel like the NFL duped us on that because the year we went to the Super Bowl was the year we also went to Mexico City to face the Chargers, which we ended up beating.
I honestly, as a Commanders fan, kind of like that we don't have an international game because that it messes with the flow. It messes with the flow of what your prep days and things like that look like, and especially for a team that's not worthy of having very many prime time type things where national exposure is a thing.
Yeah. Especially, that's not the only flow that's going on.
Oh.
Just had to rub it in. Uh,
I don't even know fully where that was going.
Oh, the
Or at
sewage
least,
water. That's where I was
oh,
going.
oh, I mean, once Dan Snyder gets out of there, the swamp can be drained.
Once is the key term.
Drain the swamp. Hurry up, Congress. Hurry up. Run him out. Run him out. Drain the swamp.
When I hear Dan Schneider, it reminds me of Nickelodeon, but that's besides the point.
No. That's actually the actual guy was Dan Schneider. That was the major issue of the Nickelodeon. This is Dan Snyder. There's no CH involved with that.
That's right.
We're not dealing with Rob Schneider here. There's no you can do it.
Oh, we suck again.
Oh, but now that we've kind of gotten onto a Commanders run here, this is definitely a big thing. Is that Coach Rivera has won the Hallis Adversity Award. He is the fourth member of the Washington franchise to do so, and this is the second in a row. As Alex Smith earned the honor last year, of course, no wonder, coming back from a compound fracture in his leg to win the award. And this award is named after the famous Bears owner, and the reason why the Bears also have the GSH on their sleeves. To me, I think this is a sign of good because they gave Coach Rivera it for his battle with cancer and him being now in remission of cancer, of the cancer that he had and dealt with, and of course the famous ringing of the bell and everything else. But then also it kind of may go along with dealing with all the turmoil of a name change and having to do all of this stuff in a sense of dealing with the Dan Snyder things and such.
Also dealing with or not dealing with he he's also a Super Bowl experienced coach as well, from former coach of the Panthers.
Yeah, but that is definitely why we brought him in. And that had to be the reason why we brought him in. But I think at the same time, Riverboat Ron has his downfalls.
He also did come from the coaching tree of Andy Reid as well.
I think he was also a Bear too. He was also an 85 Bear, one member of the 85 Bears as well. So he may have he was coached under Ditka. So I think there's definitely some coaching tree related things down the line.
Yep, he was a left linebacker.
Yep.
From California.
And now that we've to kind of move this along, we now go into the NFC East still, as James Bradbury was cut from the New York Giants. And I feel that neither of our teams will pursue this corner, as I don't think the biggest issue for Washington is linebacker, not corner.
And I'm gonna be honest, our core as far as the Chiefs, it needs more experience in pass rushing. Yes, we drafted George Karlaftis and a few other notable mentions that you could say could do it, like Brian Cook. He's a freight train. Leo Chenal from Wisconsin, but even though you have rookies that can show that they could do it in college, they need to prove it in the pros, and that's where you get those veterans that have done it. Kind of like the experience between Alex Smith passing it on to Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying that they're gonna become Super Bowl MVP, or not Super Bowl MVPs, just NFL MVPs right out the get go by doing that. But I'm just saying, it's good to have to get some pointers from the vets to pass on to the rookies, no matter how good the rookies could be. And that shows. As far as James Bradley as a whole, yeah, no. I would have to say Minnesota could probably use some corners, because Bashad Breeland was not the answer for them last season, and he ended up getting cut like early in the season, or near the mid part of the season, I should say. And they seem like they're kind of rebuilding, or like trying to keep the core of what they're doing with their wide receiver core with Thielen and some others. But yes, I feel like Bradbury is definitely should not be on our radar, because we need to keep the cap space that we have currently for future depth.
Oh, by the way, for the record, Patrick Mahomes is a Super Bowl MVP.
Right. I was just saying that the veterans.
You were mentioning talking about Super Bowl MVPs, and you kind of like all of a sudden stopped yourself. Yeah, he actually was a Super Bowl MVP.
Right, I understand that. I was just saying, like, overnight you can't just assume that everyone's going to be. I wasn't saying that he wasn't.
Yeah.
But it's good that you clarified. I appreciate it.
Yeah, because that was definitely something where I'm like, okay, I'm hoping that he didn't stumble over himself for that reason.
No.
Now.
That should be a dud.
For what? That clarification?
Yeah, you could use it as an honorable mention if you want later.
No, I've got better ones. There are better. There are better. That one was just an accident waiting to happen. Kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out Stephen A. But speaking of analysts, Ruckus, who's going to be the next one? Who's going to be one of the next ones for Fox?
Well, if his career doesn't extend to like the next 3 years, and he doesn't get the fountain of youth that he once had, Tom Brady has landed a deal with Fox Sports as being a lead analyst once his career as a quarterback is done. That's if he ever stops. Because, to be honest, this season made it, or the offseason made it sound like he was going to, because his own company that has the Tom Brady 12 branding on it said thank you to Tom. And he didn't officially technically say that he was retiring, but everyone in the community assumed so. And then, like, early spring, he's like, yo, I'm not retiring anytime soon. I'm gonna try and stick it out for one more year. But he didn't really necessarily say one more year. He was just like, I'm just gonna come back, baby. I never left.
He just looked at us like, oh, I'm gonna retire. Psych!
It's like the D's Nuts jokes of this year, where it's like, something came in the mail today. Just kidding! I'm back.
Um, I feared this kind of sounding a lot more like Brett Favre. We'll get to him later, but this is still another point where I say if we don't end up this being too careful, we end up with another Brett Favre situation, which we don't want. Tom Brady, just be definitive when your time is up.
Well, Brady also
Dude,
has a better path ahead of him too, so it is what it is. But yeah, I get your point. I get your point.
yeah. But none of the though Tom Brady may have set a lot of things when it came to history of the NFL, none of them were done on this day in sports history, May 11th, though this will become a notable thing later on. But here are some things going back into the past. On this day in 1963, all of these events that I will be speaking on happened today, May 11th. On this day in 1963, Sandy Koufax throws his second career no-hitter. The opposing pitcher on the other side for the Giants, Juan Marichal. In 1972, Willie Mays was traded from the Giants to the Mets for Charlie Williams and cash. In 1977, on this day, Ted Turner manages an Atlanta Braves game. Nothing said about what the end result was. And then, though all of these three were baseball, I'm now going to pull a shameless plug. I need to eventually do it myself. I need to eventually get FIFA 22 for PS Plus for free this month. But in the terms of soccer at this point, and this day in 2013, Bayern Munich sets a Bundesliga record by scoring their 91st point of season total points in the Bundesliga season.
Speaking of sports gaming, EA is changing their title of FIFA to EA Soccer FFC, I believe.
That doesn't surprise me, especially because I think FIFA dropped them.
Well, I thought it was because they didn't want to pay $2 billion to keep the naming rights.
Why do I think that's also not a surprise that that dropped, that got dropped due to a 10-digit or a 10-figure fee to have the name, pretty much royalties to have that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're dropping into, I mean, it's one thing when you're hearing things in millions. I have a funny feeling that within the next maybe 15, 20 years, I think we're going to probably have the first $1 billion contract.
I mean, we almost had that with Mahomes, but that was a team-friendly deal.
Wait a minute. Wasn't Mahomes at least $500 million though?
Yes.
Was it half a billion?
It was actually $500 million. It was a 10-year. It was a 10-year.
He might have been under. I think at that point he's probably under. I think he might have been under $500 million.
So I just looked it up, and it is a 10-year, $503 million deal. But yes,
Oh
they
wow!
did. But they did. They always are trying to stretch the cap space they have in the off season. So in reality, it's more of a future money kind of stowed away deal where they put the dead cap in there so that they can keep more cap space.
Huh. Why do I feel like if he were to all of a sudden have something happen this? I mean, granted, I don't think fully NFL deals are fully guaranteed. It's not like a Bobby Bonilla situation, which we still have only a few years left on that until that deal runs out. Ha ha, New York Mets. Ha ha.
Anywho, you
But we
ready
have
for the
no.
simulation?
Oh, well, hold up. We have no high heat today. We have no high heat today due to kind of really nothing really sticking out. I mean, we kind of had like a lot of recap on some things, so really nothing really stuck out this week because we're not quite at NBA conference finals preview. We're not quite at NHL conference finals previews yet. So we're not necessarily at a point where we have like a major pressing topic.
Also, baseball hasn't really like popped off as far as like major things besides a no-no from Reed Detmers.
We'll mention
Um,
that later.
but like it's still slowly progressing. Um, Other than that, are you ready for the simulation?
Yes. Yes, the simulation is going to be a big thing here. As for MLB The Show, the first monthly awards program has been brought in, and we've been grinding. The lightning player for it is Anthony Rizzo. There is a legend, Andre Dawson, in the program, and we're both in stage two.
Correct.
Some of us a little closer to getting Andre Dawson than others.
I'm just kind of going with the long game of it all. My whole like purpose of like doing the whole like grind to it is combining both like the monthly and whatever program I had to do for like the main thing as well. But with that comes a lot of playing the crap out of the game and just also paying attention to what's going on with the program.
Oh
But
yeah.
yes, it you're definitely closer than me, but I've also just been trying to like focus on like the big picture as well, which
Well,
you have also done as well.
yeah. I am now at the point where I am down to just the monthly awards hitters, which I'm only doing this with two. My idiocy. Because I overloaded on pitchers.
Don't think of it as idiocy, think of it as strategy, because really you could use it as a okay, I could do it this way quicker and like just get pitchers, because pitching is like in this game is a lot easier to handle versus hitting, because hitting is like okay, you can get hope that this person gets through the lineup. But really, when you're playing Conquest, it's 3 inning games. The chances of you getting to your like 9 hitter is only if like you do really good in the game so often, because it's based on how often a player plays. And then like as far as pitching, that's pretty easy because you could have a pitcher start, and then or you could have them in the bullpen. You could get them out pretty early.
Yeah, I mean, but that's also a sign that says don't take as many pitchers. Just don't take as many whenever you go through them. That's why I said I took three. I took three. Arano, I took Arano, Romano, and Pablo Lopez. I took all of the 88 overall pitchers.
To be
I should
honest,
have.
that's a good start though, because you're already quicker than me. To be honest.
Well, well, I didn't do it the Wu Tang way. I didn't divide my assets.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Did not divide my assets, which I
That
needed to do. Which unfortunately, because I went too pitcher heavy on the front load of it, I messed up. I messed up and had to make my longer load on the back.
also shout out to Mr. Nice Guy Wu Tang for life.
I completely went just in a weird direction.
You're welcome.
But it was no. When I said my idiocy, that was kind of where I was going at. But then to say the dividing the assets and all of a sudden doing it the Wu Tang way just kind of it set it up for failure. or success, depending on which way you want to slice it. Like, now mental composure has to return because we have to be on our mental game for the war room. Oh, jeez.
All right, you want me to talk about the rules for this one and
Ooh,
what it
sure.
is? All right,
Sure.
this week's War Room will be a trivia showdown. Spennis and I will both have given each other 4 categories that we will have 3 questions in on progressing difficulty of 1 point, 2 points, and 3 points. Most points wins.
Okay.
And yeah, go ahead,
So,
Spennis.
so this is actually a simplified and not as strict version of the Schwab Showdown. The biggest difference between this and a Schwab Showdown is that in a Schwab Showdown, it's 3 strikes and you're out. If you miss 3, you're out. So this is one with maybe a little less degree of difficulty. So it actually is a simplified format. Not only because this is the first time we've gone through it, but it's also not necessarily one of us constructing the game and having to deal with the strike system and everything else.
So, like, pretty much Family Feud.
Well,
Except for there's no family, it's just me and you.
yeah, but then even if we had like a guest for those type of showdown, it's like, oh, you're not having we're gonna have all the questions answered. It's instead of having the game stop short due to somebody getting 3 wrong, we're just gonna keep
Right.
going. Whoever gets the most points wins.
Yeah.
All
Alright.
right. So,
Who wants to start?
well, let's unveil our categories. All right. So the categories that I had from Ruckus in the subject of the main rules we had with this were we had 1 category of the NFL, 1 category of the NBA, 1 category of Major League Baseball, and then 1 wild card category of any extra sport related thing. But for both of us, we took 1 in either Major League Baseball, the NFL, or the NBA. Ruckus chose for his MLB category MLB same face, new place. So this is major moves that were done in Major League Baseball, ranging from deadline deals or free agency type matters. His NBA one was the NBA Finals. His NFL one was the NFL Draft. And his wild card was the World Series. So, Ruckus,
And
I'll let you unveil mine.
as far as Spennis's questions categories, I had his NFL one was Super Bowl related questions. His Major League Baseball category was Home Run Kings. And his NBA category was Players by Resume. And then his wild card was NFL quarterbacks in the more broad spectrum.
All right. So, all right, Ruckus, because I've kind of won the last major showdowns, I'll let you make the first. I'll let you make the first pick of which category you want to go with.
NFL.
All right, so the NFL. All right, so you had the NFL draft. The NFL draft for 1 point. The only defensive player to ever win a Heisman Trophy was drafted 4th overall to the Oakland Raiders in the 1998 NFL Draft. Name him.
Golly. I can't put a name to him right now. There's no phone a friend or anything like that, right? It's just
No,
straight up.
no,
Um.
no. This is straight up.
All right. I cannot. I do not know.
Okay, so that is a 0 for you. He went to the University of Michigan and is a current analyst for ESPN in the NFL realm. Charles Woodson. It is Charles.
Oh, I
It
didn't
is
know.
Charles Woodson. It is Charles Woodson. That was one that I would have completely said. I was like, I gave that one as a 1 because I'm like, this shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, I didn't. That one kind of caught me by surprise, but he is a good sports analyst. I'll give him that. I just never knew he played in the NFL, to be honest.
Wait, how did you not know that Charles Woodson played the NFL?
Because I am very new to the NFL as far as like old players playing in the NFL versus like current and whatnot, and like following them.
He played for the Raiders and had also an extensive amount of time also with the Packers. He was also a Packer. All right, so
Pretty sweet.
my first one I'm gonna go with is my home run kings.
All right. So your question for the home run kings is this: this Cuban-born hitter played for the Oakland A's and played in the outfield in the mid '80s.
I think if I know where this is going, this is one half of the Bash Brothers, and that is Jose Canseco.
You are correct.
All right. Okay. Yeah, the other half of the Bash Brothers at this point was Mark McGuire.
Correct.
Yep. So that's why I said I knew one half of the Bash Brothers. Okay. Are you going to stay with your same category, or are you going to move around?
MLB.
Which one are you wanting? Because you've got 2 MLB categories.
I will do the moving around category. Faces,
All right,
new faces.
All right, same MLB, same face, new place. For 1 point. As part of the many departures from the Cubs fire sale in 2021, Chris Bryant went from this team that acquired him in the trade deadline to this one in free agency months later.
The San Francisco Giants.
Well, that's the first half of it.
He went from the Cubs to the Giants.
There was you're being asked for 2 answers.
All right.
I said went from this team that acquired him in the trade deadline to this team that he went into free agency months later.
Oh, my bad. I am really bad with those kind of questions. From the Giants to the Rockies.
Yep.
Which is very questionable because, yeah, Rockies.
Well, and the reason why I was saying that because it was the Cubs fire sale.
Right.
And I had to change the question because of something we mentioned pre-show. Because the other one, the one that was originally in that slot was Kyle Schwarber. I originally had that from the Nationals fire sale with Kyle Schwarber. I changed that one at the last second.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah. I kind of was like, okay, that was there. I'm actually gonna continue with the home run kings. I'm gonna work toward clearing that out.
All right, so your 2-point question. In 1997, this first baseman for the Houston Astros hit 43 homers.
That is Jeff Bagwell.
Yes, sir. That is.
All right.
So you now have 3 points, correct?
Yep.
And
Yep.
I have 1.
1.
Sweet.
All right. So, where are you headed now?
Same thing.
Okay, so MLB same face, new place. In 2004, a deadline deal sent Nomar Garciaparra to the Chicago Cubs. In the deal, there was a player that was sent from a dugout on one side of the stadium to the other in the deal. Name the player.
Paul Konerko.
No. Nope. The correct answer in this is Doug Mankiewicz.
Oh, that's so cool because like Doug
The
Mankiewicz became a Royal as well, eventually.
Yeah, but Doug Mankiewicz in that deal in 2004, Mankiewicz it was a 3-team deal with the minute, or actually I think it was a 4-team deal really, because it involved also the Twins and the Expos. Boston ended up getting Orlando Cabrera from the Expos and Doug Mankiewicz from the Twins. At around the time of that trade deadline in 2004, the Twins were playing the Red Sox. So Doug Mankiewicz was basically traded across the. That's basically where the phrase "being traded across the hall" means.
Yep.
He was basically traded from the dugout on one side to the other in a matter of 24 hours.
That's interesting. I didn't know that, to be honest.
Yep.
But I figured I was thinking Paul Konerko because I was like, okay, Chicago, other side, yeah.
But Paul Konerko, a White Sox, not a Cub.
Right, because I was thinking across the pond, but it's all good.
Yeah. All right, I'm wrapping up Home Run Kings for 3.
All right. So, for your 3rd-point answer, this is a slugger from the 1960s. Name one player who was a home run slugging machine that wasn't part of the steroid era.
Said from the 60s?
Correctamundo.
Oh, great. Was there a specific detail that you were mentioning with this?
They were not a part of the steroid era.
I probably would have went for Roger Maris.
Incorrect. My correct answer was Hank Aaron.
Oh, so you were. Oh wow! Like that was. I'm gonna let you have that, but that was very, very vague in its.
That was on my front.
Writing.
I should have wrote it as who was the home run king, but I was trying to. I mean, technically it was a 3-point question. It was harder, but yes, I agree that it was very vague.
The writing of it was definitely the point that killed, because Maris was also technically not a part of the steroid era, but I think there was controversy with his number 61, which, funny enough, Maris would have previously had the home run single season record. You were going for all time. I had single season.
Correct.
On the brain.
It's all good.
All right. So where are you gonna go?
So I did NFL, MLB.
You still have your 3-point for same face new place. You still have your 2 and your 3 for the NFL draft, and you have not touched any of your ML or your World Series or your NBA Finals, which basically I did Finals MVPs.
Let's end it with the MLB.
You're doing same face, new place.
Yes, sir.
All right, for 3 points. The Atlanta Braves in the 1990s had a trio of aces that highlighted their rotation. 2 of the 3 were brought over to the Braves due to different situations involving other teams, or they previously played for other teams. Name the 2 of the 3 that played for and the teams they played for right before coming to the Braves.
John Smoltz and Tom Glavine?
It is not Glavine. Glavine was the one that started his career as a Brave. But it was, you had to name the players and then the teams that the two previously played for.
Smoltz played for the Red Sox?
And then where would you have said that Glavine would have previously played?
Possibly the New York Mets, but I feel like that's future.
Both of those were technically future. John Smoltz was correct. But John Smoltz was acquired in a trade with the Tigers. And the other one was Greg Maddux.
That's it.
who started out his career as a Cub.
Notable mention, by the way, I was thinking Greg Maddux, but I was also thinking Tom Seaver for some reason.
Oh, but Tom Seaver was a completely different player.
Right. So that's why I was like, yeah. Anyways. Those were good guesses, though, BT Dubs.
NBA players by resume.
All right. So, are we going by first point for that one since it's the first one?
Yes.
All right, cool.
That's the first time I've. Yep, because the first time you trigger it, the first time I call it is 1 point. The second time I call for it is 2. The third time is 3.
All right, cool. So your first point question: the only player to score 100 points in a game.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Correct.
Wilt Chamberlain, and he did it in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Yep. Okay. All right, Ruckus, where are you going with your next one? You have the NFL Draft, NBA Finals, which NBA Finals MVPs, and the World Series.
NBA Finals MVPs.
Okay. For 1 point, which player has won the most NBA Finals MVPs, and how many did he win?
I would probably have to say I'm thinking either Michael Jordan or LeBron, but I'm not sure, to be honest. Let's do Michael Jordan.
All right, now how many did he win?
4?
I'm going to give you the point, but Jordan won the Finals MVP all 6 times.
Damn, okay. Because part of me thought LeBron, but I was like, wait, he hasn't won as much as Michael.
Yeah. Okay, so I am going to continue with NBA players by resume.
All
for
right.
2 points.
Second point question. Best 3-point shooter in the NBA all time.
Is currently Stephen Curry.
Correct. And how many has he shot from the 3-point line as a rainbow? You don't have to like get it.
Oof.
You don't have. This isn't
He
one of
hasn't.
those point
He
things. It's
hasn't.
just the thing.
He hasn't. He hasn't hit. I don't think anybody's eclipsed 10,000 yet, have they?
No, his current 3-point mark is 3,117.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm like nobody's even eclipsed 5,000 yet.
Right. That wasn't really a flex. It was just more of like,
Right.
did you know
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. I was like nobody's eclipsed like 4 or 5,000. So all
Yeah, and he
right.
passed Ray Allen last year, I think, too. Right? Or 2 years ago?
Or I think it was this year. I think it was this season. Because I think he had done that back in I think either February or March.
NBA Finals, please.
Okay. The NBA Finals MVP has been won by a rookie only one time in its history. Name the player that did it and the team that he defeated in the NBA Finals.
Kobe Bryant and San Antonio Spurs. Wait, no, not San. That's the same conference. Detroit Pistons.
You went too far forward. And Kobe Bryant never made the finals as a rookie. Kobe Bryant was a rookie in 1996 when the Jazz made the finals. And Kobe Bryant, and that was during the Jordan run. The correct answer is Magic Johnson. The correct answer is Magic Johnson.
Damn, like a generation before.
who beat the 76ers in the 1980 NBA Finals.
All right, all right. At least I got that. Wait, I only have 1 and 2, correct? Of those, or did I get it all?
Well, you've used 1 and 2.
All right, cool.
You didn't get the 2-pointer. You still have your 3.
All right, homie, what do you got for your next one?
Wrapping up NBA players by resume for 3.
All right. This power forward from Germany played 21 seasons for the Dallas Mavericks.
And his Twitter handle is Swish41, Dirk Nowitzki.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so are you going to round out your finals MVPs?
Correctamundo, por favor.
Okay. The first ever finals MVP was a member of the losing team. And this is the only time that this has been done in NBA history. Name the player, what year the first finals was played within 5 years. And I'm going to give you that just as a little bit of a gap. And then the team that won the first NBA finals.
Whoa.
And I'm going to say this, you are going to want to go into a little bit of the Wayback Machine.
Because the main rivalry was Celtics and Lakers. But that's probably even.
Well, I will tell you that you are on where you are at with that. You are on the right wavelength.
Losing team, I'm going to say Lakers.
Well, the Lakers were the losing team. Yes. So you've got that portion right.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
Okay. So where you are down to is you are now down to the player. You need the player who won the first ever finals MVP. and the year of the NBA Finals. You've got the team right. You've got the third part of the question right.
Larry Bird.
Stop. Larry Bird was never a Laker. I'm gonna let you take a mulligan on that.
Oh, I thought you meant like the winning player. My bad.
No. The player was on the losing team. So
Magic Johnson.
You needed to go further back. The correct answer is Jerry West, the logo. And that was done back in 1969. And the winning team was the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, for sure. Man, my questions are so easy compared to yours,
Well,
but
I gave
besides the point.
But I will say this. I tried to give you all of the details to kind of say, hey, this is the direction I need you to go.
Right.
And you were on the right track with going Lakers Celtics. You just needed to go further back in the timeline.
I'm just saying your questions are better than mine.
Oh, well, they're definitely more difficult. They're definitely more difficult, but I tried to give you as many things that ideally us knowing a podcast should know.
Correct.
Okay. What do I have left? The Super Bowl and NFL quarterbacks. Super Bowl. Yeah, so I'm down to my NFL.
Correct.
The Super Bowl.
Your 1 point question. What team did Tom Brady win his most recent Super Bowl?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm telling you, these were pretty damn easy on my end.
All right. You are down to your 2 and your 3 for the NFL draft, and you have all of your World Series left.
Let's get NFL draft out of the way.
Okay. I definitely made sure that this one was a little like another one ideally. The 2016 NFL draft had quarterbacks taken first and second overall in Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. However, the teams that made those picks had to trade to get into those draft spots. Name the 2 teams that traded away the top 2 draft picks.
Because you said Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, so Goff was a Ram, Wentz was a Eagle.
Yep. So, but the question is name the 2 teams that traded away their picks. The Rams and the Eagles were not the original holders of those picks.
I'll go with Titans for the St. Louis Rams pick, and then for the you said Carson Wentz, correct?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the Commanders.
For that, I'm going to give you 1. I'm just going to give you 1 off of that. The other one was the Cleveland Browns. The team that traded away the Carson Wentz spot was the Cleveland Browns. You were right with the Titans trading away to get for the Goff pick. You were wrong. The only one you were incorrect on was the Wentz one. The Commanders never had that high.
All right. So,
Super Bowl for 2.
all right. What teams haven't appeared in a single Super Bowl? Let me repeat that. Sorry. What teams haven't appeared in a single Super Bowl?
Am I allowed to ask how many? Because I've tried to get, because for a lot of mine, I've tried to give you like a quantity that you need to know.
Name 2.
Oh, well, you're giving me a name too. But I already can tell you that I know I can name 3. And they are the Detroit Lions, the Cleveland Browns, and the Houston Texans.
There you go, the trifecta.
Yep.
Technically, there were 4, so it was the Browns, Lions, Texans, and Jaguars.
Oh yeah, the Jaguars have never been either. Oh yeah, I forgot that. I almost forgot the Jaguars had never. Okay, are you wanting your 3-pointer
For the NBA MVP for
or
finals?
for no for the NFL draft?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Again, another one that I kind of pulled out in a way back. Like for you, it's a way back. For me, I was a kid, but the 1996 NFL draft featured a lot of receivers that also made the Pro Bowl. Out of all of the wide receivers in that 96 draft class, which one that made the Pro Bowl was drafted last? And what college did he attend? And I will give you the pick number that you would be looking at here. He was drafted 153rd overall. To the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm gonna say Jermaine Lewis and Maryland.
Oh, did you look it up? Or did you know that one?
I looked it up. Guilty as charged.
Oh, yeah. That one was. Yeah, I'll give you the 3 on that. 2, 3. You have 6. Because I gave you that 1 for the Titans. And I'm sitting on 3, 9. I have 12 right now. Super Bowl for 3 points.
All right. How much does the Lombardi Trophy weigh? The Vince Lombardi Trophy.
18.6 pounds.
Suspense. Incorrect. 7 pounds.
Oh, wow. That actually was a good one. That was a good one.
Yep.
I thought it was definitely a heavier trophy. But you now are down to you're down to the World Series and I'm down to NFL quarterbacks.
Let's do
Oh,
the
oh,
wild card.
oh, yeah, we're down. Those are the ones we're down to. Okay. In 2003, Josh Beckett won the World Series MVP while playing for this MLB team.
Florida Marlins. Now the Miami Marlins.
Yep. That is correct.
Also on that team was Ivan Rodriguez, also known as Pug Rodriguez, and Josh.
Pudge Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Pudge Rodriguez was on that team.
Josh Lowell. Or Mike Lowell.
Mike Lowell was on that team.
Why am I thinking Josh? Yeah, Josh Beckett, but Mike Lowell. Why am I thinking Josh Lowell?
I believe, if I remember this correctly, I'm double checking here. Yeah, Miguel Cabrera was on that team as well.
That's right.
Yep.
So, Josh Beckett.
You had Mike Lowell, Pudge Rodriguez, Miguel Cabrera, Juan Pierre was on that team.
That's right.
Dontrell Willis was on that team.
And that was before the whole Hard Rock Stadium craze too. It was just Florida Stadium or the
Um,
sports stadium.
yeah, I think it was like per player stadium. Yeah. All right. NFL quarterbacks one.
In 2018, this NFL player got the call to be a cover of Madden 20 and won the NFL MVP.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, sir.
Patrick Mahomes. Yep. All right, for 2 points in the World Series. In the 1991 series, this pitcher threw a 10-inning shutout performance in Game 7 to win the World Series MVP. Name him and the team he won the World Series with.
Gosh dang it, you got me there. 1991.
1991.
I
The t-
don't
the
know.
t- the team that lost was the Atlanta Braves. And this player has had a Diamond Dynasty card in
Is
previous
it?
MLB games.
Is it? Wait, no. John Smoltz.
Smoltz was a Brave at the time. Jack Morris. It was Jack Morris as a Minnesota Twin.
There you go.
Yep. My quarterbacks for 2.
Which QB has the most throwing power in Madden 22?
Josh Allen.
Gosh dang it. Yes. It is Josh Allen, and his power rating was 2,627, according to Google.
Wait, for throw power?
Yeah, if you look up the I believe that was what I looked up on throwing power. I was trying to be sneaky, but you caught it for a touchdown.
Oh. No, his throw power was 99. It was a 99 throw
I don't
power.
know where I got 2,627
Oh,
from, to be honest.
I see where it's at. Because Patrick Mahomes technically has a larger number there, but his throw power was only a 97. Yeah,
Uh,
the highest throw power attribute is Josh Allen.
all right, hit me.
All right. And here's your 3-pointer. The St. Louis Cardinals are the National League team with the most World Series wins with 11, and one of 5 teams in the NL who have won 5 or more World Series championships. Name the other 4.
Does it have to be in that division?
Uh, well, they're all NL teams. They're all NL teams who have won 5 or more. The Cardinals were 1. Name the other 4.
We got the Pirates, you got the Cubs, got the Reds, you got the
I'm just
Brewers.
I'm just hearing you process right
Correct.
now. So
I try not to have much dead air, but I'm just trying to think at this moment.
there will be only one thing I will tell you here. If you are thinking anything from the NL East, think otherwise. So I will eliminate 5 teams for you. If you are thinking the NL East, think the other way.
Remind me who's on the NL West. I feel like I'm drawing a blank. Dodgers, you got the Rockies, you got the San Diego Padres. I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna go Dodgers.
Okay.
I'm gonna also go the because I had the Dodgers. I need. Gosh. What else is in the NL West? Because you got the Rockies, you got the Dodgers, you got the Padres. Who else am I leaving? The Diamondbacks. Um, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. NL Central could be Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Pirates, and the Rockies.
I am going to give you one. And I think for another like 3-pointer somewhere in there, I also am going to give you one. The correct answer. You had stumbled across one of them earlier while you were processing and did not say it. If you had, you would have gotten 2 points instead of one here. You got the Giants, or no, you got the Dodgers, and you got the Pirates. I think you had gotten the Pirates, or it was the Reds, one of the two. But the correct answer was the Giants, the Dodgers, the Reds, and the Pirates. You completely forgot about the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, I didn't think of them as. I mean, yes, they are scrappy and they seem to
Well,
go at it.
three of those World Series wins were in the 2010s alone.
Yeah, way to rub it in, Spanish, with the 2014.
Well, 3 of them, but I think when I saw this right, they had I think it was 8. Um yeah, the Giants have 8. 1905, 1921, 1922, 1933, 1954, and 2010, 12, and 14. So they had 5 before 2010. The Dodgers have 7, and the Reds and Pirates have 5. And then you had the Braves win their 4th. The Tigers had won 4, and then the White Sox. But actually, here was the funny thing. All 4 of those teams that I had you mention for this were were teams 5 through 8 in terms of who have won the most World Series. Because the Athletics have 9, the Red Sox have 9, and the Cardinals have 11. But then the Yankees obviously have 27.
Yeah, because they're the more monopoly of baseball.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You finished with 9. I mean, this is already
do you want to
this
know
is
what the wild card was for your third point? To be honest.
yeah, my third point. Yep.
So for your third point question, the most TD passes in the 90s.
Oh. And there are a lot of options. Oh, that's an interesting one because that's all decade. Because it had to have been a player that sustained a lot of play throughout the 90s.
And to be honest, it was probably the hardest question I ever had in this whole like thing.
minus the wording on one earlier.
Yes, sir. We talked about him earlier.
Well, there were a few things that there's a few that stuck out in mind for the 90s because you had, I mean, obviously you had Aikman, you had Aikman who had thrown a lot, you had Marino who had thrown a lot, you had Steve Young who had thrown a good bit.
Yeah, but Troy Aikman tries to talk about understanding the run game.
Yeah. Well, he also had Emmitt Smith too, so that kind of cut a little bit into that. But
I was making a Joe Buck joke.
Yeah, but
We
but
need
I
to
was kind of
establish the
also take
run.
it. But I think in terms of that, the real answer here is going to be Brett Favre.
You would be correct.
Yeah, it would have been Brett Favre because I wasn't too sure if it was going to if all of his were going to be all 90s or 2000s at that point. All right, so I perfectly went through two categories and yeah, I mean, this one was a little more of like the degrees of difficulty were definitely different on our end. I apologize for mine being maybe a little too high. Too
Honestly,
high.
yours were way better than mine as far as just like figuring out like the actual stats. I mean, obviously we are on two different spectrums, but I like how you worded it to the point where it would test me more. And yes, it was probably two different or a decade
Uh,
more in like
it was
existence
a
as a.
yeah. Like some of them, I went maybe a little too far back into the machine, but I had to reel in at least something.
At least I learned something, cause like it could have been to the point where it was like, okay, well, I could have went into it and we could have like had like a uh set on set kind of deal where it's like mano y mano, but at the same time, would you rather like learn a little bit more rather than be like, okay, we both know what we know, you know?
Yeah, we know what we know. Yeah, I mean, granted, a few of mine in terms of degree of difficult, I will say degrees of difficulty. I could tell degrees of difficulty were a little different, but I also was like, okay, I'm throwing different like things at you to kind of see what's gonna stick.
Yeah, because like the Doug Mankiewicz thing that you were talking about earlier, like I didn't even know he played on the Cubs, but he also
Or,
played for a lot
or
of
no,
teams.
no, Minkiewicz was never a Cub. Minkiewicz was a Twin.
Even then, like he played for a lot of teams though. Like he played for the
Yeah,
Royals, he played for the Twins, like you just said. He played for the Yankees. I think he at one point he played for the Red Sox, didn't he?
yeah, because he was a part of that 04 team that won the. This was the, and that 04 one I was telling you that was the curse reversed. That was the curse reversed year.
Right, against the
Um,
Rockies.
no, that was the 3-0. That was the 3-0 against the Yankees. That's the only time that's done in history of baseball. That was the famous 4 nights in October.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, that was the 30 for 30 4 nights in October. Oh my god! And I'm now just looking at the final for the Memphis Warriors game. 134-95.
Memphis or Golden State?
Memphis smoked them.
There you go.
Oof, game
For
6.
if there are any Memphis fans in the chat that have stuck this long into the podcast, comment what you think about the whole matchup. And honestly, I'm voting for the Grizzlies because I like Ja. You probably didn't like that and they were cringing over it, but I like Ja Morant and I like his versatility. I like his the way it speaks as a young adult that is in the NBA. He's in his second year and he's already telling his other players what to do, like as a leader. That brings a big kind of influence into the locker room and on the just wooden playing field as it is for basketball as far as the NBA. Like, someone that young influencing the locker room and all that is a big plus. Especially if they're telling you to go from here or there or wherever. Like, the last time I ever saw that was LeBron James or someone as young in that time
Yeah.
that did that. And that's amazing to me. That's super amazing.
Okay. And now that we've gotten through to a lot of the amazing, we now have weekly stud and dud. All right, Ruckus, where are you going with your weekly stud and dud?
All right. My stud. Sorry for cutting you off there at the second there, but anyways, my main stud. If you have not seen the video, Anthony Rendon normally hits home runs with it on his as a right-handed batter for the at the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Well, they dropped the of Anaheim. It's just the LA Angels, the Los Angeles Angels. But
The Los Angeles Angels, he normally hits right-handed, and even as a national, he hit right-handed. But for some special occasion, he decided to hit lefty, and it was his first at bat, as Spanish told me, against Brett Phillips, and he makes it look easy, and he just goes into it, and it hits into the right field area where the tallest part of the park is as far as trying to hit a home run easily, and a fan catches it, and he just makes it look like he's done it before even though he's not. That is my stud. Anthony Rendon coming off a entry real decent from last year, coming into now, taking names, and needs some more bubble gum.
Oh my gosh.
An honorable mention I also have is Andy Reid explaining the rookies during rookie camp. Because the man can describe a rookie as he sees it. Like, Sky Moore, he was saying, man, that guy can go and do it all and has a good attitude, and said a lot of things about George and the other second, third, and beyond free agents. But the man can explain.
What impressed me about the Rendon dinger, he went down and got that. It was not, he did not have a ball hang over the plate. That ball that he took out was technically a ball had he not swung at it. So he had to go down and get that as well, which made that impressive. Granted, it was Brett Phillips, and he is one of the funniest players in MLB, and I think it makes it look even more embarrassing that he gives up a left-handed home run to Tony Two Bags, though when he's left-handed, it's Tony 2 times 2 bags. If you're getting where I'm going at there.
Yes, sir.
But do you want me to go through your dud first, or do you want me to kind of go on the stud train first?
Honestly, go for it, dude.
All right. Well, and speaking of the Angels, and funny enough, this was also on the same night. I went with Angels pitcher Reed Detmers in his 11th career start. So he's still a rookie. And this was against the Rays. He threw a no-hitter. I mean, it was 12-0, for crying out loud. But we've been seeing a lot of teams kind of go with the combined no-hitter. But Reed Detmers only threw 108 pitches. The strikeouts and walks were But this is the first solo no-no all year.
Which is what matters in a no-no.
Yeah, true. True. Like, the combined no-hitter did give some supercharge to the Mets on DD, but this is truly a supercharge for Reed Detmers. He goes from like a bronze to a pretty much an upper level diamond because of this supercharge. But my honorable mention also is another notable thing. We now have 6 players who have hit for an MLB record 3 cycles. Have hit for the cycle 3 times in their career. The newest member of that club, Christian Yelich. So I will say this, though Tony Kemp with that nice diving catch would have been nice. I mean, Tuesday night brought for a lot of great moments to kind of have in the stud dud kind of range, because you had Tony Kemp with that awesome diving catch, the Rendon homer, Detmers throwing a no hitter. Now Christian Yelich hitting for a cycle yet again. There's a lot that happened, and a lot that I'm quite happy about with baseball. Baseball's getting interesting now, especially for the fun little bits and bites that kind of come along the way. But now that we've kind of gone through the amazing, what wasn't so amazing for you, Ruckus, this week?
Honestly, I'm really disappointed in my Kansas City sports people in general, especially athletes. When it comes to going through the culture of Kansas City, the main thing you think about with Kansas City, besides the fountains, besides the Chiefs and their Super Bowl runs, you think about the juicy, succulent, spicy ribs, burn-ins, sausages. What does that all combine to? That combines to Kansas City barbecue. And yes, there's other barbecue places, but we're not going to mention them here. But when it comes to barbecue, we are king. We are Kansas City barbecue. And the fact that any Chiefs rookie talking about in an interview when asked, hey, have you tried the barbecue? Every Chiefs rookie said, nah fam, I have not tried the barbecue. Honestly, that's understandable, but at the same point, try some damn barbecue.
You just got there, for crying out loud, Ruckus.
But also, for crying out loud, they had rookie camp, and at the same time, they had a barbecue showcase. Yes, please. Give me some damn barbecue. Give me some damn burn-ins. That's my favorite barbecue, by the way, if you didn't know. Ribs are second, but burn-ins and sausage, yummy. Other than that, give me them damn ribs if they're available. But still, I am. It's sad that most of them did not try barbecue. They could have been like, "Yo, coach, could I get some barbecue?" And they probably would have been like, "Oh, yeah, come over here, get some barbecue." But nah, they did not. Anyways,
Now, the question on the ribs: spares or baby backs?
baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back ribs.
I figured that was gonna be the thing there.
Yeah,
But
that's the curse of Chili's right there.
my duds here, I got two. One of them for kind of something that really is serious, and then the other, I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of roasting myself here. But in all seriousness, I'm not trying to take away from the mood that we're in right now. But Brett Favre is a dud for being involved as a defendant in a lawsuit with the Mississippi Department of Human Services in their efforts to recover misspent welfare dollars. Brett Favre, come on, dude. Come on, dude.
Like I was
Stop.
saying earlier, when it comes to retirement, Brett Favre was way worse in his life path than Tom Brady.
Well, Brett Favre kind of had his downhill with the Jets as well, with that
Frick
whole
tomato.
situation. So there were a lot of things that kind of didn't go right, and this unfortunately has to be added on as one of them. But kind of did not be left out in the whole food related thing. And we're dealing with rookies as well. And I know that he caught a whole bunch on this while he was in college. Now he's having to deal with it again. And that is Commanders rookie quarterback Sam Howell. And the dud is his taste buds for never truly being able to enjoy the amazing taste of a steak or a hamburger.
Come on, man!
Sam, we know you're the future of this franchise, but we are definitely thankful that you were not in a Jim Harbaugh organization because of your meat choice being chicken. Harbaugh says that it's a nervous bird, but here's the thing that also is a little perturbing about this whole thing. Sam, my guy, I can understand chicken being your meat choice if you're also thinking also with the chicken wing, the breast tender, like the chicken breast, or like some fried chicken. This is one that this is one thing. Like actually like doing like chicken with the bones. Nah. His whole thing is usually chicken in either nugget or tender form. My dude, there is, I know that nug life is a thing, but we were not expecting a future potential franchise quarterback to really fully live that out. It's too basic, my guy. Eat a dang steak. And I'm sure you've got a whole bunch of roasting to go along with this, too.
Honestly, leave the man alone. He has his own diet. All right, let's close this out while we
You
can.
had to leave it at that. You had to leave it at that. Man, because this is just like why? Like seriously, why? Like it makes little sense. Just makes no sense.
It is what it is. Anyways, this has been the Ruckus and the Menace podcast. I am Ruckus.
And I'm Spedis the Menace.
Thank you for tuning in to our podcast, and please give us a comment letting us know what you are interested in and also what your favorite team is. And it doesn't matter if it's MLB,
Yeah.
NBA, NHL, football, whatever. Let us know in the comments down below. Anyways, have a nice day, and also, I'm Ruckus.
And I'm Spedis the Menace.
And thank you for joining us in this podcast. My Twitter thing is Ruckus Sports 97.
And mine is Spedis duh with EA because the word the just overloaded my Twitter characters. Menace. And that's the end of our podcast. Have a good one. And eat a dang steak, people.
And barbecue. Have a good night.